guys, so I apologize for how I'm looking this morning. Do you like my new haircut though? I got some curtain bangs and trimmed some length off the bottom. I just feel a little lighter, a little nicer. Anyway, I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about the decision I had to change up another piece of gear. So you may have noticed the title of the video and you may be wondering, what the heck's going on? I'm trying to get myself to having a lighter pack. So as you guys know, I have had the Slingfin Portal since the beginning of my deciding that I was going to thru hike these trails in Scotland. I love the tent, and as far as strength goes, that was one of the main reasons that I purchased that particular tent, how strong it was for its weight. And I have had it in storms. Granted, I never did get to take it out on a thru hike. I have tested it in storms, in wet conditions and everything like that. And I live in Florida, so we do have tropical storms and things like that. So I did put it through a good amount of testing, and I think it would have been a very good tent to take on that kind of a trip. However, going along, my bag was staying pretty light. And then I started getting into the nitty gritty to where I'm just about done. There's only a tiny couple of things that I have not finalized. I'm sorry, I keep shifting, my arm's tired. Only a tiny couple of things that I keep shifting around. And when it comes down to trying to jostle around between grams and things like that, you know, to try to get your pack lighter, you have to start thinking about what your non-negotiables are. What are the things that you absolutely want to have with you and you don't want to give up? And the things that you can do something about with regard to weight. So I started really looking into some other tents, trying to get lighter. And when you start doing that, you have to start asking yourself, do I want a single wall? Do I want a double wall? Do I want a freestanding one, or do I want one that I can just set up with trekking poles? Asking yourself all of these different things and all the variability. Oh, I'm so greasy. I washed my face this morning. Anyway. Okay, so when you start looking at ultralight tents, the very first name that comes to most people's mind is Zpacks. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that they are so popular amongst ultralight hikers. They make a good product, and there's no doubting the fact that their products are ultra light. So I've been following Zpacks for a very long time. I live right down the street from them. I've known of them for many years and actually considered going with them before I made the decision to go with the Portal. And I started thinking, I don't know how the Duplex will do in wind and heavy rains. So I started looking up people who had the Duplex that were in the UK in environments that I am going to be hiking in. And I watched their videos. The Duplex seemed to perform very well for them. My other concern was condensation. And what I've learned over the years with single wall and double wall tents is that you're going to have condensation no matter what. It's the amount of condensation that we're talking about. You have enough room that your sleeping bag, or a quilt in my case, is not going to be pushed up against the side, letting water in, depending on what type of shelter you have. There's many things to consider. Okay guys, I think I may have gotten it. I've got the little tripod thingy with the little arms like twisted around the steering wheel. So we'll see how long this holds. So anyway, ADD brain, where was I at? Oh yeah, tents. Okay, so I watched a zillion review videos. There are so many of them online. So I looked at a couple of people in particular who were in the UK. One of my favorites is Hounds of Howgate, because he's really out there in it. And he has done a couple review videos on the Duplex and other Zpacks products as they perform out in the Scottish weather. So he was one of the ones that I really looked at, as well as questioned him. I've messaged him back and forth, and he is super nice. He's very helpful. He's always willing to talk about product, his opinions on things and the weather conditions and all that stuff. Anything I've ever asked him via message, he's very nice. Check out his YouTube channel. It's called Hounds of Howgate. I'll put a link to it down below. He hikes with his dog Moss in Scotland, and he has a bunch of cool review videos as well as long distance walking trail videos. So check him out. As you guys might know from other videos, and if you follow me on social media, I have low back issues as well as neck issues, and I have particularly been battling an SI joint issue for the past couple of years. So not only is pack weight a factor for, you know, how much enjoyment you're going to get out of the trail, it is a factor for me and comfort, because I don't need to be killing my back out there on day one. Happiness in a cup, folks. As I started to put my kit together and all the pieces started to come together, I began to realize, ooh, we're getting into some heavier territory that I really don't necessarily want to be in. So I started looking at other tents, and I looked at several others that looked like they would be a really good possibilities. But then when I saw that Zpacks now had an upgraded flex kit for the Duplex, where you could add tent poles to the Duplex for extra stability, the heavens opened up and shone a light down and went, this is the way, this is the way. I decided to sell my tent, and I purchased the Duplex. I wanted to have enough room for 2 people because I like to spread out and my quilt is large. When I open that thing up, it's all over the place. So I wanted to be able to have my gear inside my tent, which is something that is hard to do here in Florida because we have lots of animals. Not to say Scotland doesn't have animals, but we have bears and wildcats and things, you know, like that, predators, bears. Keeping everything in my tent here wasn't really possible. But over there, they don't have all these big predators like we do here. So I will be able to keep my things in my tent. I definitely wanted a room, so I went with the Duplex. I believe the one I purchased, there's several different options with regard to the Duplex, and they are different weights. So I decided to go with the spruce green, which is a heavier fabric than some of the other colors. I originally wanted to go with the camo because I think it is the heaviest and the sturdiest, still very light, but that one was no longer available. I don't know if they were just sold out or if they don't sell it anymore. So I went with the next best thing and went with the spruce green. It is a bit heavier as far as how much heavier than the blue or the plain silverish color. It's just 1 or 2 ounces, but I will put all of that information in the text, the notes section down below. I also purchased the ground sheet and a couple of other items from them, including some pretty strong tent pegs. I questioned them. I actually talked to them at Zpacks about my choice of tent stakes, because I do know that they have gone to Scotland before. They are experienced in camping all over the world and in different environments. So I did call them up and talk to them, and they suggested a certain tent peg for me with regard to use with this tent. So I did purchase those. I've already replaced my pack, and I've also replaced my tent. So today is all about opening up that package and trying to set the Duplex up for the first time using the Flex Freestanding Tent Kit, which I'm super excited about. So temps are going to be good today. There's a little bit of wind in the air. I think it's going to be slightly windy today. So I will be going in the old yard and trying that out. Let's go set up that tent. Hey guys, it is a super sunny day. It's like beating down on my face. I am out here setting up my new Zpacks Duplex tent for the very first time. I have no idea how smoothly it's gonna go. It looks pretty easy online, but I also bought the Flex Kit. So once I get it up with just trekking poles, I'm gonna also practice with the additional kit as well. So let's check it out. So here we have the Duplex in spruce green. This is the Duplex ground sheet. This is the Flex Pole Kit to turn the Duplex into a freestanding tent. These are the 7-inch supersonic tent stakes. I was advised to get these by someone at Zpacks based on where I would be camping. I black diamond trekking poles, and I will be using those to set up the Duplex first, and then I will do the Flex Kit. Setup instructions, it's just one sheet. As I've got done right now. I've got a trekking pole sitting on it because it is a windy day. I've staked down the ground sheet, and I went to check the camera and it hasn't been recording this whole time, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm to the point now where I've got everything opened up. It's windy. I'm trying to keep it from going into the lake. So I'm gonna try to get the camera going and see if I can't get it set up. Okay, so in every video I've ever seen, the trekking pole is in the ground outside in the vestibule area. So maybe this is how it sits? That doesn't look right. I don't know. Let's play with it. Let me see if I can get it up here. So the little cup up in there, I thought that the whole of the black part was going to sit, the trekking pole was going to sit in the whole of the black part, like all of it. And apparently it does not. Part of it is going to be directly underneath here. So the largest, So the largest part of the trekking pole is going to fit in this little pocket with the black part on the bottom and the tent top on the top. That appears to be the only way to do it. I've lined the trekking pole up with the seam of the tent, and I've pulled the guy line out here. Now, when I guide everything out on the corners, everything is very loose so that I can make any adjustments necessary. I'm gonna go tie out all these guy points. There's the ridge line. It is a very windy day, so this is not an easy thing to do. I think it is good practice for me. So I'm gonna go guy out the sides and then see where we go from there. See if I can't tighten everything up. Okay, so it's up. I've tensioned out all the lines. I did opposite side to try to get as evenly tight as possible. I've also tightened up here. This is actually pretty taut. I don't know if it's supposed to be sinking in like that, but it's tight. Okay, figured it out. So these two clip here. It's an adjustable guy line, and you just tension it. There are no closures on the doors. They don't zip shut. Just this little guy right here. So we'll go over to the other side. Hang on, let me step back so you can see what it looks like. So there's that. And let's go around the other side. And I'll see if I can do it while holding on to this tripod. Okay, so here's a little ring right here, holding on to that. Here's another ring over here. Oop. Here's the little hook. So there's Whoop. There's one, trying to get it to focus. Ooh. It's not gonna focus real well, is it? So there's one side. And there's the other side. So now you tilt this forward, tilt this up a little bit, and pull on the loose line. A little toggle thingy right there, you connect those. So there we go. That is toggled. I don't know how easily you're gonna be able to do this, say if you need to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I don't think you can do that from the inside. There's a whole lot, there's this much out to here of overlapping fabric. If it's pouring down rain, I'm gonna have everything closed up. But usually I prefer to keep something open so I can get some ventilation. So these loops here are for rolling up one side and keeping one side open. But let's climb inside and check it out from the inside and see how much room we have. The tub is free floating, so this is just going to be, you know, floating around. On the sides, there are pockets for your gear. There's a pocket on one side, a pocket on the other. There is nothing to hang anything from up top. It's pretty simple. A little slickery because I'm sitting on the ground sheet as well. So, there we go. So there is a lot of room in here. Let me switch the camera around. I am sliding around. All right. So here I am. I'm sitting in the center of the tent. I've got one side of it closed, one side of it open. I will open both sides to feel the breeze, see how much of the breeze I can feel because it is a windy day. However, as per the two little Zpacks logo things on the end, I have faced it into the wind, supposedly the strongest way to pitch it, headlong into the wind so that you've got the wind going over it and not up under it. So I've got all this room on one side of me and all this room on the other. My quilt is large. I can tell you that it feels roomier than the Portal. Once I get my gear in here and really test it with the gear in here, that might change. So this is how much area is in the vestibules. I could definitely put my backpack here, my shoes, you know, cooking. There's plenty of room to have your stove and everything. Here's the other side where it's open. I can see my house through this. I purposely chose the spruce green because it is a little bit heavier, supposed to be a little less sheer, but I mean, it's pretty sheer. You can see right through it, you know, but I think you can see the lake over there. I think it's enough privacy. I think it's enough. So I just noticed in this pocket, there's a little thing. I'm assuming this is repair tape with the model and the manufacture date. Okay, so I was able to unhook it and roll it back from the inside. So I think it's gonna be no problem getting in and out to go to the restroom. This, I can tell right now that I need to tighten up because it's flapping around all over the place. I have heard it's hard to get a perfect pitch on this thing. I can see why. So my foot is flat on the ground. As you can see, the bathtub comes up quite high. So I think if I put, you know, something in the corner to hold stuff down, like my bag or, you know, whatever, as long as this holds and you're not pushing against it. I see what people mean by if you're pushing against it, water could run down off of here, but I mean, I think it's gonna be okay. It's definitely higher than my previous tent. So if water didn't come in there, I think we're gonna be good. So here we are all set up. I have tensioned everything out pretty tightly, rolled some of the doors back for ventilation. There is a really good cross breeze going through there right now because the wind is blowing pretty good today. All in all, not too bad. It was not that difficult to put up. I'm gonna take some photos, do a little walk around, and then I am going to attempt to do the flex kit and see how it sets up with the poles. Yet to identify what this is. I assume if it was part of the Flex Kit, it would be in here. I don't know yet, so we'll figure that out, hopefully. It says I'm supposed to have 4 96-inch, 244 centimeter tent poles, 4 metal rings, 2 toggles, and a tent pole stack. So there's that. Here it is, the 2 extra toggles, the 4 metal rings. What I'm gonna have to do with these metal rings is untie these corners and retie them with the loops on them. That is what the little ends of the tent poles are gonna stick into. And the toggles are gonna go on the 2 wall tie outs on the tent. Okay, all right, so let's try to figure this out. All right, so I was scared to do that, but I got it back on there. It's tied, so now I gotta go and do the same thing with all 4 corners of the tent. Okay, loop each of the 2 toggles onto the 2 wall tie outs on the tent. So that's what I have done over here. I've looped this on this side. There's also one on the other side. This is so that you can loop them over top of the tent poles that are going to be coming across in an X fashion, and then, you know, clip over top of them. So let's try that. Okay, so on this side, I've got the poles in the corresponding loops. Other side as well. You're supposed to be able to bring the tent up, and it's supposed to be freestanding without the trekking poles. Although the trekking poles, sorry, my papers are blown away. The trekking poles can be added for extra stability. So let's see if I can get it to stand. Clearly I'm missing something because I don't understand why it's not tensioned like it should be. It says it's supposed to be used without trekking poles. I don't see that. So now you can see there is more bowing of the poles. What I did was, okay, let me separate them. There's a loop on this side, there's a loop on this side. I thought, because this loop over here was facing this direction, like it would perfectly, like this pole would perfectly sit in it, I assumed that was the one you would put it into. But no, if you can see, this one on this side, this is the one this goes into. It creates the extra bowing outward. And of course, you've got to go along and tension the bottoms so that they're nice and tight. This side is not bowed out as much as the other side. So, you know, I would think it would be like that. So you could pick the whole tent up and move it like that. Let's get back a little bit and look. So see how this one side is a little more bowed than this side? I think I need to adjust the tightness some more. Ta-da! Okay, so obviously the front and everything is all flappy because it's not tied down, but look how much better. So what I was doing wrong was this down here was not pulled nearly as tight. You've really got to pull it very tight to where there's no slack left. And it will be tighter and it will bow out more. Plus, you've got to have these in the right holes. So there we go. I think I will definitely use this with the trekking pole also, just for added stability. I think I will just feel better, but here's a look at the inside setup with the Flex Kit. I'm gonna close it and get some pictures and call it a day. Video on my new Zpacks Duplex tent and the Flex Kit. You see it back there. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Comments are always welcome. I will put all the details with regard to everything talked about in today's video down in the description box below. Thanks very much. See you in the next one. Bye guys.